Hello everyone and welcome back to another painting stream with me, Bajikolio. Hope you're all doing alright. I am a bit hot. Aside from that, should be fine, peachy and dandy. And could it be, is it possible, that this might actually be the very last time that I am putting paint on this little dude here? I think it might actually be. Well, aside from the basing, which will happen after I'm done with the next dude. But yep, chances are that we are actually going to get to this guy today. Hey there, Pig in Space. Thanks for joining. How are you today? Oh, why so? What happened? How did you feel after last evening's game? Still, don't worry about it. You'll get the urge to do productive work. When you do, just ride the train. Yeah, orange. Oh, it's green on the chat. Okay. So how did you feel after last evening's game? I mean, did you feel that there was anything in terms of your build that was missing? Or was it just overall? Is it sure, huh? Yeah, I did. I told you I would. I just didn't stream it. Because I wanted to, you know, actually eat food. Yeah, sleep kind of an important one, yeah. I've been struggling with that myself. Especially whenever there's a full moon, I'm having some particular difficulties. Yeah, well, it let's just say that I suppose that would have been the case, yeah. Yeah. Although I think it's just once that you failed to pick it up. But yeah, and the lack of rerolls didn't help either. Yeah, exactly. Oh, twice. Okay, I must have missed the first one. Well, I just remember the one time. Oh, okay. Yeah. Good. True. Although, most of the times, the scatter of the ball put it closer to the line of scrimmage rather than the touchdown zone. So it was in more danger. If it was further back, maybe it wouldn't have been such a big deal. Um, It's a weird team. Undead, playing against Undead is very weird every time. True, exactly, yeah. It's very weird because you focus on the blitzers and the mummies, and then the ghouls just run out of nowhere. And for movement 7, they appear to be quite faster than I thought. Like, most of the time I didn't think that they could get this far. It was very weird. I guess I have a bad eye for measuring distance, if I don't count. Yeah, and the first removal, the mummy removal happened very early on, and I remember that my thought was, well, that's probably the game done, since you had more guard and strength was equal. And then just stuff happened. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird game. It felt uncomfortable. I don't know. Yeah, I noticed that he always put it whenever he had the chance to rearrange in perfect defense. He always put the mummy on the line of scrimmage to try and block any development from a current angle. Yeah, twice. Twice. Still, Itzanif is a very, very tough opponent. So it's a very good opportunity to test out all of your skills. Oh, is it... Noise. Okay. Has it come up in the app, or is it outside of this, just in general? Either way, I'm copying this and I'll listen to it later on. Okay. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, I'll check it out. I think today, not counting the basing, I think I will be... Yeah. And I'll just delay the basing because it's easier to do it in bulk. Yeah, pretty much. I'll actually probably get some time to get the base colors for the metallics on this guy, but we'll see. Yeah, all two of us. Mexican wave. I'll join. Should work. Right, so I'm just gonna go and quickly put on some highlights on the leather straps. Try to get it done as quickly as possible so we can move on. Not that I don't like the Mini, but I am getting a little bit tired of it. Can only imagine what it's like for you guys. Alright, let's get this done. Thank you, thank you. Although, truth of the matter is, the camera does do some smoothing of... It does smooth out a little bit of the thing, so it's a bit rougher than it looks. But still, it's fine. Yeah, I just couldn't really go around it. And it's a bit late now. A bit too much paint, but oh well. And I'm trying out a different gadget to use for resting my elbows. Hopefully it'll work. We'll see. Come on. I'm looking for the thing that would make this a bit more comfortable. Part of the hand. Wait, what? I'm not sure I follow. This thing. Yeah. Yeah. No, see, thing is, it's not just about the elbows. I need an actual surface to put my elbows for stability. So it's not just about putting my elbows on the knees comfortably. It's that I need an actual surface. I'll figure it out. Someday, maybe? Well, other painters just use a different setup, so the whole thing here is right on the border of my desk. And they just put it deeper in, so they can lean into the whole thing, and then their elbows are on the table, but downward. So they lean on the whole desk when they paint. But I don't have the space because just beyond this happens to be the monitor. Nah, the keyboard isn't the issue. Oh, I'll think about it. I've pushed the monitors as far back as I can. I will need to do some rearranging anyway. Probably when I get some days off from work, I'll focus on improving my work conditions. Probably. Is the monitor flickering too much, by the way? Is the screen flickering too much? Because I seem to see it doing so on the preview. Really? Well, that's cool. If it starts, please let me know so I can turn on some additional lights. Because this camera is not made for what I'm using it for. Alright. Still, let me just turn on the lights, just in case. Yeah, now it's stable. Whenever the picture gets a bit darker, the screen starts to flicker. Anyway, let's just put a few more dots here and there. Again, I'm more along the lines of stippling rather than actually painting. I just want to enhance the roughness of the texture. And then now we'll move on to the metallics. Not gonna get too involved in the metallics, just a quick highlight here and there. The gold will probably end up looking like shit, but I just don't know what to do. I did, yeah, and essentially I can either start off with the brighter gold and then just go through the whole thing with 1 million layers to get it to stick, and then shade it and re-highlight it, or I can go the way I'm gonna go right now. So essentially re-highlight from a darker gold to a not too bright gold and just call it there. I can't be bothered going back and forward 4 times for what's essentially 2 details on the model. It's just not. If it's a lot of metallics, yeah, I would play around more. What? No, why? Alright, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that's all there is gonna be to it. I don't think I'm gonna put any more effort into that. Yeah, get it. Every time I get reminded of that video with the elevator where they wanted to go to the 11th floor and it was voice activated. 11! Yeah. It's a gold. Old but gold. What if I turn on the low light compensation? Maybe that'll help. Maybe. This brush really needs a good cleaning. But not today. Right, so I will be highlighting the metallics with Iron Breaker. I really feel very silly doing this on camera, but unfortunately, it's actually important. Not today. Yeah. Yeah, I may have mentioned this before, but for metallics in particular, it is very important to have them really shaken up before using them. Yeah. Nah, I'm not bothered by the shaking itself, it just looks very weird. A monkey assistant, yeah. I can dress it up as a goblin. Make it thematic. Yeah, can you see? So this is how it should look mixed up, and this is how it looks when it's separated. So you can see the actual gold being layered here, and this is just medium. We want to avoid that before putting it on the palette. Because we want to get to those tasty, tasty metal flakes. Yeah, we'll still need to shake it. Yeah. I managed to actually ruin some of my previous paints with a lead agitator, because I used some fishing whites that were lead and they sort of screwed up the entire paint. So I'm a bit wary of this process. But pure steel and, as you say, a pearl, that would work. Like glass or something. Yeah, exactly. Why is it doing this today? Or a monkey, true. Yeah, you can see this still needs some shaking here. Doesn't look good. Yeah, exactly, that's what I mean. Yeah, but it will get worse. So I'm going to have to resort to some drastic measures that I don't like. But it needs to be done. Yeah. So I'll have to keep it very bright. Maybe I lower down the brightness and the sharpness. Nah, that doesn't do nothing. Yeah, I know. There's no backlight compensation. Hey, backlight. Yeah, maybe. What if I do that? And then I go back to all of it. Yeah. How's that? Works? Works good. Yeah, it was, but it was unstable. Let me take a look again. Well, I can paint either way. The problem is that I don't want you to get a seizure from the flickering. So I screwed around with the brightness and sharpness. Get everything into the mid lanes. Yeah, see, the thing is, I've seen this before when I tested things out, and as time goes by, the issue actually worsens. So it's, I don't know, does it wear out or something? Either way, I think it should be, yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, I'll work with that. Yeah, I should have realized the backlight compensation could have helped. Maybe now I can actually turn off the automatic exposure, but I'll try that for next time. Because we've lost enough time. Alright, so just a little bit here and there should be enough. Give it a good shine. Shouldn't really be too pronounced. Either way, most of what I do will be killed by the varnish. So I just want to have good discernible highlights, so that even after I varnish it, it'll still remain and register as a different tone of color. I've been thinking about the next steps for the stream, and what I reached as a conclusion is that I will actually bring up 3 separate polls in Facebook, where you and all of the other viewers and anyone who joined Facebook, and I'll also have a link on Instagram and popularize it and whatnot, so you can choose what you want me to paint next. So one of the polls will be what to paint next, one of the polls will be what to build next, and the last poll will be what to play next. and this will be, I will put these on around the end of the month, again because I will have some vacation days and I can spare the time to get them done. Yeah, if I wasn't playing in Rebel, I would have been able to make a schedule. Unfortunately, I have no idea when it is that I'll be able to come to agreement with my opponent. Same thing with the tabletop league. And I could put it out a schedule, but there will be more exceptions to the rule as opposed to actually following the rule. Still, I might do it. It'll be a bit like French grammar, but still. But yeah, a schedule would be a good idea. Yeah, sure. I mean, most of the games will be a single player anyway. It's just about the Rebel League of Blood Bowl. By the way, the scheduling came out for the new season, and I am in the same division as Zunk from Andy Davo's stream. So it is a fair assumption that we'll be having a game at some point. But yeah, that's the general idea of things. Or I might schedule some streams, like the ones that I would be rather certain that won't be moved due to other appointments, and separately announce the other ones. Because you're right, it's important to have a regular streaming announcement instead of the 30-minute warning I give out. Because not everyone can react that quick. Or I could do, I don't know, earlier notifications or something. But you're right, yeah, that this is something that should be addressed in some capacity. I'm not quite sure how exactly, but it should. And also I need to get a fucking overlay finally done. Because I've been talking about it forever. I should try and find the template of the overlay that Sage is using, and maybe just do a palette swap or something so I can have different colors. But overall I think it would help just for overall presentation. Ah, sure, sure, of course. Yeah, yeah. The thing is that this will be these games are um, scheduled like we do our schedules for the tabletop. So we get yeah, sure. Um, that's not quite the issue. What I meant is, I say that I'm gonna be painting on Mondays, building on Tuesdays, playing Blood Bowl on Wednesdays, and then playing another game on Thursday. Well, it just so happens that when I talk to my opponent, they are only free to play on Monday. So that automatically switches over the schedule completely. And since Rebel will be happening on a weekly basis, this is gonna throw around the entire idea. Same thing with the local tabletop. So say my opponent can only play on a weekday, then I can't stream that day. So it's kinda problematic. And of course there are the occasional real-life events that transpire. Yeah, well, I was thinking more along the lines of paying bills and going to shops, but yeah, fire and earthquakes are also amongst the reasons that might cause me to lose a stream. But I'll get it under wraps, like... I just need to really sit down and think about it. Because I've been going... kinda nonchalantly for the whole thing. I need to put some effort and planning into it. That is not, that is definitely a possibility. Maybe not streamers, but YouTubers for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a video of, here's me going to the DMV to renew my driver's license or something like that. With 30,000 viewers or something. And just some subtle highlights here and there. I don't know if it even registers on the camera. But it will bring a little bit of shiny into the whole thing. And it'll help the... You can imagine that. That's Belle Delphine, right? The one with the bath water skit. Say what you will, but it is a strong idea that, yeah, it's her. Like, if it works, it works. Pretty effective business decision. Starting to think that maybe Runefang Steel would have been a better highlight here, but this will do. Yeah, whatever. I think that a dry brush would be actually a better idea for highlighting these metals. It looks pretty good when you cover the entire area with wash over a metallic and then you dry brush the metallic over it. It looks like, yeah, you paint the metal, You go over the metal with a wash, and then yeah, and even if it's just silver again, it looks like hammered steel. It's a very cool effect. It's like old school hammered iron, like blacksmith style. If I do it, I will mess up the entire model. Like I can't do a thin enough, a well-controlled enough dry brush the way it is right here. It'll go everywhere. Because the flakes will just run amok on the entire model and I won't be able to clean them up. And he'll be all sparky. Like one of them vampires. But it's a good effect. Works well over black too. Away, but still it'll catch on the golds. It'll cover up all of the fur here, no matter what direction I dry brush. The back flicker of the bristles of the brush will throw glitter all over the model. I will be doing this for the Goliaths. However, because then I can isolate the armor panels that I want to dry brush, and it'll be better. And should make more overall sense. I should really learn how to do non-metallics. At some point in my life. So actually that's the silvers done. I won't go any further than that. Because again, there really isn't much of a point. This brush is getting so cacked up with paint. It's not even funny. Right, so we're done with this and we're moving on to Gehenna's Gold. For a highlight. And if it turns out tolerable. I might enforce it with an even brighter gold. But we'll see how it comes out. The metallics look horrible, but what you gonna do? Meanwhile, I might play around with the exposure some more. Nope. Go back, go back. Just doesn't work, does it? Someday I'll get these settings right. I've been thinking about the idea for the Amazon team that's gonna be built from the two teams of Mantic. Which paradox? Well, a flickering image isn't good anyway, and it could be better representative if I lower the exposure, but if I lower the exposure, it starts to flicker. Maybe I should play with the lights some more. Why? What's the catch? Oh, okay. I see. So they're shitty casts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Yeah, that's a reasonable warning. Right. Okay, thanks for the warning. I'll keep it in mind. It just came up in my mind. I'm not gonna rush to buy them soon anyway. I don't need to make this pile of unfinished stuff worse. Yeah. Did he like it? Oh. I don't know, sounded cool to me. Yeah, you could also look into what, into the site that Roro Rimbo was showing off. Nothing really, it just came to my mind yesterday, and I was trying to figure out which team it was that you mentioned for the positionals, and I remembered that it was the human-looking one. Just the process of this thought. Nice. By the way, what are your thoughts on clear bases? Are you pro or against them? Oh, one single box, you can do both teams. That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe maybe if you don't need to put anything on the bases, like if you don't need any discernible features like numbering or skills or any of this sort, because then they will blend better with the terrain, so the miniatures will blend better with the terrain. But aside from that, I'm with you that it's no, it's just no. I'm asking because this Kickstarter actually came with clear bases. Right, yeah. And I got to think, would it actually be would it be beneficial? Have them or not? In the end, I just opted for the standard bases. That actually looks pretty good. Cool. So maybe if it's a game system that strongly relies on terrain, and if you want a better immersion of your miniatures onto that terrain, maybe then use clear bases. Like maybe Necromunda or Kill Team could look good. You use varied terrains. Because now I have 16 of the things and I don't know what to do with them. Oh, I see, I see. I see what you mean, yeah. That sucks. I should probably rebase my war machine because in the snow I made yellowed out. And I'm not really sure I want my troops to be walking over pissed snow. It is natural. Yes. Especially in war times, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Wait and don't stop. Or bathroom breaks. Nice shiny buckles. Good. I don't think I'll be going with a brighter gold than this. So far it looks fine for a highlight.
Suddenly you wake up with a start, and your head is sore. Remembering what day it is too late. Did you even mourn?
Alright,
There's no point asking why.
I'll be here should you choose to come back.
All those lies you tell about the ones you left behind, the ones you left behind after the lights fell.
The rivets. The repetitive task of highlighting little balls on your miniature. Always thrilling. Now, I am actually a little bit mad because I didn't think of this combo for paints previously, and I went over the darkened, what was it? The darkened Balthazar gold with a much brighter gold, and it looked very, very funky. Where is this? This looks fine. Only thing is that probably it won't give the separation that we were looking for the element, for the details that are pressed against the fur. So if you take the shine away, it won't be as differentiated. So we'll see. Put a couple layers on the thing, see how it works. Go even lower. No. About as low as I can go. Ow. So maybe I should get some agitators for the metallics at least. The other colors, the standard opaque ones, mattes are fine, but the metallics might not be too bad of an idea. Get a good old shaker for them. Okay, now the actual important bits. That'll be here. I'm trying to do the exact same thing that I would do if these were ordinary colors. As in, I would like to leave a little bit of the shadowy part, the non-pearly part, and just highlight where the sun would catch. I don't think it's particularly effective for metallics. And so I always have to work towards a not particularly, how should I say, shiny type metal. Should always be sort of hammered or worn out, so that I can actually work in some highlights that I'm more comfortable with producing. because for the really chromy type ones, I have literally no idea how to do those. Like, maybe just don't highlight at all, just get some really chromy paints, get a smooth finish surface on them, and don't touch them at all, maybe? I don't know. It seems sort of cheap. Has to be a better way. As for the chromier stuff, you need to get very delineated shadows and high spots if you're doing non-metallics, so I would suppose this would carry over into true metallics. I don't really know. Like, this is by far my weak spot as it comes to painting. Just working metallics. Is not my strong suit. The paints themselves are very different to work with in terms of thinning them down and getting a comfortable flow. Highlighting them is, as I mentioned, pretty hard to do, to pull off. So I make this sort of half compromise where I settle for not particularly reflective metals. Which I shouldn't really, because it limits what I can represent on my miniatures. And I believe that technical proficiency should not limit what you're trying to represent in your work, even if you don't feel particularly comfortable with doing it. I have more or less fallen into cycle of repeating the same techniques and the same colors over and over and over again. Which is hurting my development as a miniatures painter. I have to try new things. I have to develop my arsenal of techniques. Like, for instance, the flesh tones that I've already touched upon on multiple occasions. I keep doing the same formula for flesh. And I've been doing it for way too long now. I think it's high time I changed up a little bit, and the Goliaths will for sure give me that opportunity. I have some things lined up that I would like to try with them. If, of course, you guys choose them to be the next thing on the painting table. Following the completion of this project. Though I think I could implement something new in each project that I have in mind. I know, right? I am actually pretty glad that this is the last time I'll be working on him. Like I said, I like the mini, but I'm tired of him. Really, really super tired of him already. Maybe I should have named them per miniature. Like the streams should have been named per miniature and not per team. Although I think the name is, yeah, the name of the stream is Norse Team, so I don't know. But you do make a point, yeah, it does, it may be a bit confusing and someone might think that I've been painting this guy for 12 streams. Which would be insane unless I was entering him into a painting competition. Like a singles painting competition for a crystal brush or golden demon or something like that. In which case, seeing the result of this would be pretty much devastating. Because that is not a singles entry level. By a mile. Right, so here's a question for you. Do you think that the color of the golds is now a bit more separated from the fur, from the brown of the fur? Or does it still appear as very close in tone, as you mentioned previously? Just a little bit. Maybe I should try going brighter gold. Yeah, I can see that. Right. Well, Or maybe I can go a bit brighter on the metal. Help separate. Like, again, sadly, it is not... the video is not a good representation, but there is a unmistakable similarity between the shades.
There are some answers we need not know. Secluded ciphers, they hide
Right. Oh, I can put a little bit here behind.
in the strands of our DNA.
Yeah, let's try it. Let's try bringing in the brightest gold. I won't need Iron Breaker. You. You. Or the red. Right. Going all in with Auric Armor Gold. I haven't used this in a million years, and you can tell by the amount of separation in the pigment. Yeah, monkey! Come here, shake that thing. Nope. Oh, yeah, it's alive. It's just very separated. Yeah, but then there is a lot of paint that stays on the toothpick, and actually it would be about 3 or 4 times more paint on the toothpick than I would actually use to paint, so it's a bit wasteful. Not that I think I would ever be able to actually paint all of a model. Like, I've had this paint set for a couple of years maybe, and I haven't ran out of a single color yet. Let's see how it compares. I'll just put a little bit here and there. On the highest places. Oh, that actually doesn't look bad. So why did it look so shit on the other models? I don't know. Oh, I remember why. Because I jumped from base color straight to this without an intermediary layer. That's probably it. And I was using it a lot more watered down, like a lot more thick actually, and it didn't blend as well as it does here. Cool, so that's actually a little tiny breakthrough I will keep in mind for the future models. Cool. Right, well, I cannot go any brighter than this, so this is how it's gonna be. Oh, okay, that's cool. If it catches good on the cam, it's cool. You must match the numbers on the list. Probably. I mean, there are no names on the list for the cup, so the only way to actually to tell the minis apart is from the numbers, but I don't think it should be a big issue. Like, I don't think that they intended the numbering to be like miniature first position is miniature number 1. I actually think they don't need to be numbered at all, but that's just me. Yeah, it shouldn't matter because you note the positional type, and if there are any skills to it, you just make the additional markings that we'll be doing with the base stuff, the plastic skill markers. So apart from that, nobody cares what the numbers are and the miniatures are. They're not carrying over SPPs or any type of records, so it should be, you can go in with minis that don't even have any numbers on them, and it should be fine. I will personally match them. Well, no, wait, I won't. They won't match. I lied. So yeah, it doesn't matter. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ulf Werner number 2 complete. I am not going to touch anything else on him before basing, because I don't want to overdo him or make him worse. I am just calling it right there, just cutting him off. No more paint for this guy. Whew. Right. So moving on to Bronan here. We'll probably need a good scrub. Yeah, I did. Well, there was a flake. I wanted to remove the flake. Haven't worked on this guy for so long, he has actually caught dust. Did I oil this? Yeah. Ah, there we go. It was just a piece of dust. Annoying! Okay. So unless I'm very much mistaken, he only needs... Yeah, he only needs the metallics. The chips are actually done for the most part. Yeah, so just the metallics and maybe the eyebrows, maybe. Hopefully this time we will be moving along significantly faster. I'm now in the zone. So once he's done... Really? Okay, well that's gonna put a twist on things. Wait, let me see something. If that's right, if that is correct, then... you should be able to change numbers. You can't change the numbers. Oh, sure, that's how we're going, for sure. But you can't change the numbering. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 16 cannot be changed. So in case that you're using the NFL numbering system, so if you have players that are number 18 or 33 or something like that, you couldn't technically get them in the list. But I don't know. I mean, if they need to be, this is something I really didn't think about. When I made the list. Ah, well. Worst case, we'll be putting on some sticky paper over it. and rewrite the numbering. Shouldn't be a horrible problem either way. No, it kinda caught me off guard too, so I can understand. And besides, in your case, what number will be Zug? Like, what number do you give to a star player? Either way, we can handle it on the go. Oh, I see. No, it shouldn't be an issue. Which reminds me that I should probably buy a better carry case by the time we leave. So I can bring some first aid for miniatures, like piece of super glue, a few sticky papers, and a marker or something like that. So going back to the base colors, this is going to be lead voucher. Yeah, the medallion is gonna be gold for sure. Okay. Wow, it looks so weird. Paint another model. Feels very, very weird. Got used to Ulfi. Also a miniature that actually has shoes on. And no fur. By the way, I did ask you, but I completely forgot. What model were you using for Zug? Yeah? Yeah, because it's a very thematic team, and just slapping in any Zug probably won't look right. Yeah. I would probably go with the Tri-Head Knight just to emphasize on the strength, to represent the Strength 5. But that's just me. But you are keeping it... Yeah, Griff would make sense to be a human size there. But I'm glad you're keeping it thematic from within the Kickstarter. You know what? I might actually. I saw it. I saw that it was uploaded to Netflix, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and I might just watch it. So I was thinking about it quite a few times, and I think it's time to go back to the classic. Yeah. No, I have just to rewatch it, or maybe the third time. So I have it. I've seen it at least twice. But not officially on Netflix. So. Be good to go down memory lane and catch up on some puns. No, I haven't seen it any... I think maybe a couple of years ago was the last time I saw it. When I just binge watched pretty much everything I could get my hands on. So Life of Brian and the Jabberwocky and, well, all of them. Yeah, well, again, it'll be a chance to... It just reminded me, essentially. It came up in the new uploads. The new uploads, mind you. And I thought, hey, why not? Sure is. So that settles what I'll be doing tonight. Because I've been watching Trailer Park Boys. And I think I've had about enough of them. They started growing on my nerves. They were funny at first, but now it's getting a bit much. So I wouldn't mind going to an old classic. The base colors have a completely different nature of coverage and consistency. So going back to them requires me to be a little bit more careful. And I'm trying to paint within the lines, although I can already see that I spilled out where I shouldn't have. So I might need to do a couple of touch-ups. Before I start shading. Oops, why is no one telling me I'm out of focus? And again, the white primer is making the camera go insane. Thankfully, there isn't that much of it left uncovered. What? How does that work? Oh wait, vegetarian might work? I think vegetarian does include dairy? Or am I wrong? I think it does. Maybe veggie tarator would be, like vegan would be insane. Yeah. So what, is there a substitute for the milk? Or is it the regular stuff? Probably some soy milk? I don't know. Oh, that's disgusting. So just watering cucumbers. Ah. And if you add oil to the mix, that would make it even worse. Ah. Ah, yeah. Now I'm shocked too. Like, disgusting. Yeah. No, seriously, it's just wrong on so many levels. I'm giving the camera a little bit of a shake with my nose. Happens more often than you would think. Damn it. Yeah, it's a bit much. I agree. That's not to say I wouldn't eat anything, but anything vegan. But if I do, I would eat it because it would look tasty and not because it is particularly vegan. For instance, one of my colleagues at work, he used to bring some sweets that were vegan, and they were actually pretty nice. Like some hazelnut-based sweets. Yeah, and there is a lot of tofu stuff that also tastes good. But completely restrict my diet to this? I don't think so. Like, good for anyone that manages it, but I'm just not gonna be one of those people. Oh yeah, Veta House has awesome stuff. Like these, I'm gonna call them meatballs, but they don't have meat. But they have quite a few options. Yeah, and a lot of tea. By the way, if you're a fan of tea, there will be... I think that there will be a small exposition coming up soon. Some tea tasting. Not particularly in Veta House. I need to check the Facebook event. But there was something coming up recently. It was actually a pretty big breakthrough for me when I started drinking tea for pleasure and breaking out of the stigma that tea is something that you only drink when you're sick. So I have been dabbling. Yeah, you will be surprised how many people are actually affected by that statement. Like, maybe over half of the people I've spoken to, trying to ask them for their tea preferences, all said that they consider tea to be something that they only drink when they're ill, and they can't accept it as just a refreshing beverage or something that you have, just like coffee or juice. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I have a few types here, but I actually don't have... I'm not in the habit of drinking either coffee or tea while I'm at home. I mostly drink them outside. I don't know why, just so happened. Good, so that is the silver done. Means I will put it back. And I have a solid half hour for the gold, which should be enough. Meaning that we are making some serious progress today. So what would the next step be for this guy? Well, I'll probably follow the same steps I took for Ulfi, meaning next step will be a bit of dry brush on the cloth on his ass, and the very tough, very difficult thing to highlight the black hair, which I should try and manage with a dry brush as well. But yeah, dry brush these two parts, then... No, he doesn't. He doesn't. It's very weird. Then the washing stage. And then highlights. Nope, he will be just stock standard as the others. Is the other... how many are there now? Not counting Ulfi, that'll be 8. With this guy and 2 more pending. Oh, I did prepare actually to show you the other ones that I haven't primed yet. So I think this will be the other line woman, and the final lineman will be this fat guy right here. I really like him. He doesn't quite fit the idea of a lineman because he is a bit bigger, but I really like the sculpt. Alternatively, I can go for her as a second lineman. Yeah, so options are I either go for these 2 girls as the final 2 linemen, or one of the girls and the fatty. I just really like the mini. Although it might be a bit confusing for my opponents. I don't know. Yeah, I kind of really want to paint him though. Because the rest are another thrower, another runner, and of course the Yeti, which also looks pretty cool. Yeah, I am doing the color coding for the bases right here. So we have gray for green will be for the blockers for the wolves, and gray is for the linemen. Oh yeah, there shouldn't be a problem. And there's a really cool star player. So this is supposed to be Cheney, I think. And that's it, the rest are just markers. But I should free up my cork bases before I put the other models on for priming. Because I tried using these things, but the models don't stick well with sticky tack. They are wobbly and fall off. So I do need to pin them to the cork for stability reasons. Although now that I'm back to spray priming with a rattle can, it's a 5-minute exercise. Whereas with the airbrush it took me maybe 5 times that much. About half an hour, maybe even more, to prime a couple of models, which was a bit excessive. I never could get the mixture right, and I got it all too diluted. So either it wouldn't cover and it would require a million coats, or I would go too hard, it'll clog. So yeah, better to use the rattle can, I think. Since I won't be doing any zenithal or pre-shading or pre-highlighting, however you want to call it. Maybe if it's a one-off mini and I want to play around with a different light source, I might use pre-shading to help me with the placement of the highlights. But that might be for a star player, or... Which reminds me that I should really start painting these star players. They are seriously piling up. At the very least, the chainsaw guy. I got a really cool helmet that I would like to put on the table. But whether or not, this will be entirely your choice. We'll be making it a pseudo-democratic stream, as in you will be making the choice, the final decision, but what goes into the polls will be up to me, so... think of that as you will. But I think it'd be fun. Yeah, it won't be an open-ended poll, like... there won't be an option, enter whatever you want. I'll just have a list of what I am thinking about painting, and you can help me along with the decision. Same would go for building and for playing. That way you can be a bit more engaged and I can be like a bit more challenged. Yeah, a list of freedoms, exactly. You can choose anything as long as it's on the list. And I am actually pretty curious of what people would like to see. And when I thought of this option, I wondered if I would have enough models that are actually ready to be painted. And I looked around and yeah, there are. There are. Since some of the things need to actually go through the build stream cycle. So the list for build projects will be longer than the one for painting. And I should once again go through my Steam library for the games, see what I would like to play, and again make a quick list. No, but I think you mentioned it before, and I saw some screenshots of it. About the being an RPG. No, truth of the matter, I haven't played anything aside from what you've seen on stream for a while now. One thing I am still debating with myself is I checked, actually afterwards I did check some videos, like some gameplay footage. Yeah, it looks fine. And I suppose that the meat of it is in the actual gameplay rather than just how it looks and some random things. So my question is, if I should go for mini by mini for the poll, like, would you like to see me paint just one dude out of a certain team, let's say? Oh, it does? That's cool. Or if I should go for the entire team or just a part of the team. Because a part of me wants to go mini by mini. But that would mean that, I don't know, nothing would get really done at any point. Because I don't want to do this same thing again, like having 20 streams just painting the same dudes with the same paint schemes over and over again. Maybe a good idea would be to go for first and second place picks and alternate them. Like if you choose Goliaths and let's say the steampunk dwarves, 1 week I'll be painting dwarves and 1 week I'll be painting Goliaths, and that way there will be a bit of diversity, and I will paint them until I complete the team or gang. So it wouldn't be completely the same thing over and over, and there will be a bit of variety. Yeah, I think it's gonna work. What was that? So the golds are going on a bit slower. But I will hopefully get through. By the time I clock out of the stream. Ooh, in what way? Oh, by the way, the Willy one, actually, I think it went live. The Willy Nurgle went live maybe last week or so. Lots of block. Interesting. Well, you never can go wrong with block, can you? Really? And that's actually quite witty, because he will be the hardest to take out. Although sacrificing a double for this, I don't know. But yeah, it sounds pretty wicked. Yeah, that goes without saying, yeah. How many people are there in our team, actually? Six. Oh, okay. I thought that there were more. Oh, okay. No, it's just probably my mistake. Well, not probably, it's definitely my mistake. For thinking otherwise. Painting these buckles will be such a chore. Okay. No, I just thought about it because I don't remember someone saying that they would play Nurgle, and I thought that maybe someone knew. Maybe that's the case, yes. Maybe that threw me off. Was next year Malta hosting the Euroball? Or the year after that? Because I seem to remember that they did choose Malta, but there was something that it wasn't for the next year. But I don't remember if that was accounting for the World Cup. Or if there was something else. Either way, doesn't matter for now. We have this to focus on. I would really want to do better than last time. We're a bigger team. I think Malta might actually be more affordable than what we're doing now with Dornburn. So I've had quite a few friends going over there. Whoa, cool! We'll actually have stunties on our side. Wicked. Ah, sure. Yeah, I guess. Oh, okay. We'll see. Ooh, nice. A nice split between the overall categories of teams. So we have hybrids, we have killers, controllers, and we have edgy. So that's cool. I cannot imagine what a hassle it is to actually hollow out the model and make room for not only the LEDs but for the battery as well. It's just a mental task. And fit all the wiring in too. It's like building a ship in a bottle, I think. Yeah, oh yeah, if it's a small one. I mean, I wouldn't play with such minis, but I would definitely like to see him in a display cabinet or something. I prefer 40K models, let's say, with LEDs, because they kind of make a bit more sense to me. And there are more options, more opportunities to place lights. It's a cool idea. It kind of detracts a little bit from the whole concept. Oh, okay. Oh, the neck as well. Yeah, that would give it this vertical glow, like when you're telling scary stories and you're aiming a flashlight up your chin. That's nifty. It's a nice DIY project, but I wouldn't necessarily oh yeah, that'd be good. Although it would need something to be pointed at in order to make it work. But that would actually have pretty cool in-game application, because you would have the best kind of true line of sight. Because, you know, if the laser pointer can point to the other guy on the table, like if it's deployed and it's playing, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, but not mounted on the gun itself, right? And it were those lasers that projected like a whole line, and not a pointer laser. Nope. Oh, okay. Yeah. Personally, I might do it just once to see if I can make it work. Yeah, it's not practical. It's just a cute idea. Let's just say a cute idea. It is, however, an awesome project to test your own skills at converting and working with different materials. So I will give it that for sure. And in a display cabinet, they would look awesome. On the table, though, it might be a little bit cheap-ish. Might look a little bit cheapish. Maybe also in dioramas they might look good. Like very, very prepared dioramas that are made to take advantage of such lighting. Yeah, you would need to cover it up a bit, like dim the light down or something like that, because the light from the LEDs is far too bright for most of the paint schemes, and it doesn't look right. But I have seen some awesome photos that use both LEDs in the miniatures and some practical effects like steam, dust balls and whatnot. And they also have some post-processing in Photoshop. And these, they do end up looking gorgeous and amazing. But that is a completely different type of animal compared to what we are trying to do or use. I am actually following this guy on Instagram who does LEDs for 40K models, and he is exactly the kind of dude that does these dioramas with additional Photoshop touch-ups. And it really does look like an action movie. Sometimes you actually forget that it's the scale of them. So you could represent them as true scale. It looks phenomenal. But it's so much work and it's so much knowledge of completely different areas of expertise. So electric works, photography, practical effects, post-processing of pictures. It's an entire science on its own. How do I get up in this? On this model, you mean? The belt buckle. It's a common theme, so you have these on the buckles and then you have these smaller ones. It's, I don't know, it's part of the theme. I don't think it's, it is probably stylized horns more than an ultra symbol. Not really sure what the author's idea was. It does have another Kickstarter out, but it's just some fantasy models, unrelated, one of which is pretty awesome. It's this barbarian chick. That looks pretty damn great. Well, it's not as toilety as the ultramarine symbol, because it really looks like a toilet. Unless, of course, you are a fan of it. But I don't really have anything against ultramarines, to be honest. They are a bit plain, but the color scheme is effective. And the lore is decent. Yeah, I can see what you mean with the similarity. And the fact that I am painting it gold on blue doesn't help, doesn't stop the comparison either. Although it should have been white on blue, to be completely in the theme. But yeah. I don't think that there is any actual correlation to there. I think he just went for things that looked cool, considering all of the greaves and the bracers have actual faces on them. Like faces with beards on the boots and the arms. But I actually kind of like that. Crap. Stay steady, hands of mine. It's just gonna be a little bit more. And then I can get some food in me. Alright. Now the medallion. I just made the executive decision that this is going to be golden. Initially not the idea, but now it is. I am taking artistic freedom here. Witness me. It does. That was what I was afraid of, probably, initially. But it's too late now. And a bit lazy. Really? Maybe. So yeah, maybe stay within frame is a good idea. Well, it was bone initially, but it is divided. So the things to the side of the medallion are to canine teeth, fangs, and I thought that if it were to remain bone, that it would be a bit too much concentration of the same color. Or I can just paint it silver. I'll look at it when I place all of the other colors. And if it clashes too much, I'll paint it silver. Because it won't stand out as much. Was a in the heat of the moment decision. But let's face it, I'll probably be too lazy to change it. Am I getting out of frame again? Yeah. Sure, if I take a single hair from the brush and spend a year on it. Oh, it should be possible. No, come on, stop putting ideas in my head. I need to get him done. Freehanding insects on medallions does not get things done. Yeah. Also, why would a Nordic dude have a scarab on that should be a Camry thing, yeah? Maybe if I go back once I complete all of them to add tattoos and other shit, maybe I can play around with this concept. Not sure, really. I don't really know the Norse lore in the Warhammer universe, so I can't really answer it. But he is not a straight up marauder in the sense of Chaos Pact marauders. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, as in, oh yeah, yeah, you mean with the pillaging and the, yeah, that does make sense. Appropriation of other cultures and property. But again, I don't know if the Norse of Warhammer live by the same rules as the real Vikings. Yeah, it does make sense though. It would make sense if that were the case. Oh, okay, okay. Alright, well, tell you what. If I face off against a Camry coach during the World Cup, and if I beat him, I will draw a scarab on the medallion. How's that? Because then it would make sense that he would be there and have stolen it. Okay. It would be a fun little bet to have. No, I'm staying. Also, it's on camera and on the internet, so no takebacks. I honestly don't understand why this song is royalty free and on this app. Because this is the intro song to the Co-optional podcast that Total Biscuit, rest in peace, used to lead, and now his wife does it. I don't know why this is like open source. And always video games. Total Biscuit used to be probably the biggest video game critique on YouTube. But unfortunately, he passed, I think, last year due to cancer. But yeah, the previous song was from the start of his show, from the podcast, where he would invite other other YouTubers and game reviewers and critiques, and they would talk about video games. They would curate games on Steam, so they would give a quick intro on what's coming out and whatnot. It's pretty fun. I mean, it's still going on. Yes, yes. It's called the Co-Optional Podcast, and so the song is actually, it sings co-optional in the lyrics. Okay, unless I am absolutely blind, I think I covered all of this. Ah, it's because it's by Miracle of Sound. I see. Okay. It makes sense now. Right, well, pretty much good work done today, I think. This guy is all based up. I don't think I would need to do many touch-ups, or probably will wait to go through the dry brush stage before going back for some base coat touch-ups. And then the washing stage and highlight stage, and we will be done with him. So I went a bit over the time limit I expected, but I did manage to achieve what I was out to complete. So pretty good development. One less mini to worry about, and one more on the painting table. Not sure if I'll be able to come back tomorrow to start on him, but I'll try. I think I got a good groove on, like a good sequence down. Should try and get some streams over the weekend. But it's just a bit too hard to organize. Alright, well guys, I think that'll be it for me for tonight. Thank you, Big in Space, for joining, and thanks to all who have lurked in the background. I appreciate everyone, and I will be putting this video up on YouTube as well. Thanks again for the nth time. I will see you soon, maybe tomorrow. And until then, I wish you all a very pleasant rest of your evening. And as usual, keep doing what you love, loving what you do. And this has been Bachacolio. I'm signing out. Bye now.